So we're going to start with just a review of folate metabolism, perinatal physiology, and why there are specific folate needs in pregnancy due to the unique physiological state of pregnancy. Then we're going to get into, I guess, the latest and greatest of clinical practice guidelines for folate supplementation for the risk reduction of neural tube defects in pregnancy. And this is from the 2022 Society of Obstetricians and Gynecologists of Canada, the SOGC guidelines. Then we'll get into talking about actual supplements that are commercially available. So we're going to look at different folate forms that are currently added into prenatal supplements, as well as the dosages that are used. And then we're going to end with exploring some of the current controversies that are related to excessive folic acid supplementation. And then I'm hoping to pull it all together with an activity at the end, just navigating some of the folate-containing prenatal supplements that are currently available on the market. Folate is a water-soluble B vitamin. It is vitamin B9. And because its role in the body supports cellular proliferation, as well as synthesis of a number of different outputs that we'll discuss later, but including synthesis of DNA, RNA, proteins, as well as methylation of DNA, RNA, histones, which affects the expression of different genes. It plays a really important role in growth and development and is really important to consume adequate folate during these periods of rapid growth, such as pregnancy and early life. So our dietary sources of folate are, of course, naturally occurring food sources that folate is present in. So this includes leafy greens as well as citrus fruits, but also different legumes and pulses and also different organ meats. Additionally, here in Canada and also in over 80 different countries around the world, our food system is also fortified with folic acid. And so we're going to talk about this as well a little bit later on in the presentation, but this actually offers substantial folic acid in our diets in those fortified grains. And then, of course, also folate-containing supplements can contribute greatly to folate consumption. So there actually is a substantial depot of folate that is in the large intestine. And it's actually over 400 micrograms, which is adequate to meet the recommended daily allowance for non-pregnant adults. There's also some evidence in vitro models as well as animal models that has shown that this depot may increase with intake of dietary fiber that supports the growth of those bacterial species. However, although this is kind of interesting and exciting, it's important to note that the extent to how this endogenously synthesized folate contributes to actual blood folate status is unclear, and it is likely just being used directly, or the most important role that, why those bacteria produce those folate is that it's important for keeping them healthy, and it's used directly by those folate-producing bacteria. Although we can absorb folate in the large intestine, it's probably just more important for the maintenance of that colon health. Additionally, there's some emerging evidence, and we'll talk about this, again, at the end of the presentation when we get into some of the controversies around excessive folic acid intake. But it's also one of the reasons why there may be an association between excessive folic acid intake and prevalence of certain cancers, including colon cancer.